So they put me on a plane. They fly me out to Palm Springs, and on I get out there. They said, "Well, Duggan, you got to have a roommate." I'm like, a roommate, I haven't had a roommate since college, really. I mean, Doc and Gordy, they were my brothers. They weren't roommates. A roommate, who am I going to room with? I'm thinking, I know Jimmy Hart pretty well. I know Hillbilly a little bit. And they're like, no, you're rooming with Piper. And me and Pipe, we were in the different parts of the dressing room. Of course, he was higher up on the food chain than I, so I didn't have a whole lot of interaction with him. So, excuse me. So, first, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I think the company really planned on it being a drama. They really thought it was going to be a hell of a drama and putting me and Piper together. So for the first 2 days, me and Piper are like, yeah, how you doing, brother? I'm doing okay. How about you? That third day, we hit it off. We became best friends. The whole show turned into a comedy, man. It was great. It was we loved it. Pat and Gene were like, I don't think we'll ever do it again. Me and Piper was like summer camp. We're up all night telling stories, giggling, and some of the best stuff never made it on camera. That first week we're there, things kind of dead. Everybody just gets there. Everybody's getting to know each other. We're in a big, beautiful mansion out in Palm Springs. I guess it was some famous movie star's mansion back in the day, and Frank Sinatra's mansion was next door. So we're in this beautiful mansion with pool and all badminton court and croquet court.
Pretty good.
And anyway, so it was dead as shit that first week. We were like, yeah, this is great, So I'm thinking, how can I spice things up? So I'm thinking, well, I wait till everybody went to bed, and I got up and I'm going to throw all the pool furniture in the pool for a big whodunit, So I wait till everybody goes to bed, and I sleep naked. That's a big part of the story, brother. Anyway, so I'm out there. You can't throw the pool furniture in because it'll splash, and we got security. So I'm running one, putting in a piece. Sure as hell, here comes WWE security, kid with a flashlight, WWE security. He's coming through there because we're on these beautiful grounds, right? I'm hiding behind a palm tree, Midnight Express, boom, 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 boom. I'm pretty sure the kid saw me, but he was like, shit, no.
I don't want to deal with that guy.
He's looking the other way. There's a naked man behind that tree. So I finally get everything in the pool. And I go to bed, and I wake up in the morning, I go in the kitchen, and Pat and Gene are in the kitchen, and Pat's pissed off, I just talked to Vince. He's pissed off. He's thinking about pulling the plug on the whole project. Somebody ruined all the pool furniture last night, threw it all in the pool. I'm like, well, Piper, he wasn't in his bed last night. Oh, that Piper. Piper comes in, they all jump Pipe's ass. I mean, I could get away with anything. I'd blame it on Piper, man. We had so much fun. It was crazy. We became best friends. Oh, I got to tell you this one because pot's legal in California, right?
Yep.
And that first week, again, we're jonesing. You got to hook up with the camera guys and the sound guys, to get the weed. But we don't know anybody that first week there. So Pipe doesn't drink. I was drinking heavy back there. Me, Gene, and Pat were drinking heavy. Hillbilly didn't drink. Jimmy didn't drink. Tony, Howard, me, Pat, and Gene were hitting it hard. And Pipe, he just wanted a little wheatsky. And so he was jonesing bad. So one day I went into the kitchen, this big, beautiful kitchen, had everything you wanted, So I get a napkin, and I take a bunch of oregano and I pump in the napkin, right? And I roll the napkin up, and I go around outside, and there's beautiful mountains of winds blowing. Piper's sitting in the bedroom, and I'm like, Pipe, come here. He comes out, I go, look what I got. Oh! He goes, are you shitting me? I said, yes, it's a joke. He got so hot. I'm like, yeah, Piper, it's a joke, brother. It's just oregano, man.
Oh, that's great.
We had a great time. Our families became friends. God bless. I quit drinking when Pipe died because I was drinking so heavily back then. He tried to get me to loosen up a little bit, but I did. So I thought when Pipe went down, I figured that'd be a hell of a time to quit, and I did.
So, so you
But yeah,
completely
that,
you've gotten rid of drinking completely in your life?
yeah. Well, yeah. Really, I haven't had a drink. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I had a champagne toast or something, but yeah, I don't drink at all anymore. Iced coffee.
Roddy, whenever he first got there, he seemed really uncomfortable with the whole thing right from the start.
Yeah.
Did it seem like and by the way, he would end up wandering off and howling at the moon. So first, I'll ask him howling at the moon. Was that kind of like gimmicked? Like, did the producers want him to do that, or
No,
did he do
no.
it himself?
Oh no, I remember that. I forgot about that, man. I've been there, and I'm late night. And I'm sitting, I don't know, at the bar or in the kitchen or somewhere in the house, and it's late. Everybody else they did that show 10 years earlier. It would have been a hot show. This one is 10:30. Good night, everybody. Good night. Bunch of old timers, right? Anyway, so I'm up having a cocktail, and this producer kid. Oh my God. Not on my watch. That's what we ended up. That was his nickname after this. He wore a baseball cap backwards, kind of like you. And I'm sitting there, and the kid is running around. I mean, running around the whole property. And I'm like, and by then we had found a little weed. So I'm like, this is great. Kid is a sprint. Finally comes up to me and he goes, Piper's not in the house. He's not in the house. I said, no, he went over the wall, but he'll be back. The kid goes, not on my watch. From then on, the kid was not on my watch. I mean, he was not on my watch. We don't know what his name is, but to this, yeah. But Piper, yeah, he went over the wall. We're out in the desert, man, and he went out over the wall and was howling at the moon, man. Should have got the mag. Boom!
They was scared him back inside.
Hey, out in Palm Springs, it was a nightly deal. Bang, boom, bang.
Well, somebody asked. I'll start with our first listener question. Big D WWE asked, "What was the tension like between Roddy Piper and Pat Patterson? Did Piper ever confide in you any misgivings he had with Patterson?" So I didn't even know if this was a thing, Jim, and I was wondering if maybe that was something that contributed to him being so uncomfortable. Did he have an issue with Pat?
Well, they had a history. They sure did. Ever going back to the guys loading up Piper's bagpipes with tissue. I think it was at the Madison Square Garden. He went out to play the bagpipes,
Yes.
and so I think it went back to then. But no, I think Pipe was just uncomfortable being in that. It wouldn't matter what 8 or 7 other guys were there. I think he would have been uncomfortable, and I just being there, we just hit it off, and I think that made it easier for him. Made it a whole lot easier for me. I mean, we had a lot. Like I said, we had a lot of fun.
The bond that you and Roddy formed, it was like you two had become best friends in a very, very short period of time.
Very
And you
cool
could tell
time,
there's
yeah.
like a genuine love between the two of you. And it makes me wonder, Jim, like you crossing paths with him previously, like obviously you guys were in the company before, but it was just more like, hey brother, how you doing? Handshake kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. The dressing room. It's everybody's got their own little area. And I knew Piper. Piper was Piper. He was doing his own deal back then. I was doing my own deal. You know, I wasn't like a big company guy. That's why I never was a producer or an agent or worked up in Stanford. That was just never my gig. It was a job. I'd come in, do my job, wrestle, and boom. Probably now looking back at it, if I had any uh, second thoughts, I would have been more involved in the office and paid more attention to what's going on.
Sure. And, I think us as fans, we always see it and we're like, it's like a bunch of young guys are probably backstage horsing around, playing cards, having fun, drinking at together after the shows, stuff like that. But the reality was, guys like you, it's like, hey, it's a job. I'm just trying to not get hurt while I'm out here, go to the next town, go home and see my family. So it's like, it probably wasn't always time to go out and party with a guy like Roddy Piper while you're on the road.
No, I partied pretty hard, brother. Yeah, I,
Just not
I
with Roddy.
I can't throw no stones about anybody partying. I did A to Z like everybody else, back not everybody, but 90% of the guys. Like I said before, people try to compare us to sports teams. You're more like a rock and roll band, every night. There's booze, there's bras, there's drugs, whatever you want. Here's an 8 ball. You want to bang my old lady? Hey, you sex was fun and drugs wouldn't kill you. It's just herpes.
You go to the free clinic to take care of most of
Yeah,
what
what the
happened to you on
hell?
the
Yeah.
road.
No, it was a different life, and I ran with Gordy and Doc. Like I said, my three best friends are all gone. Terry Gordy, old Bam Bam Gordy from the Freebirds, Doctor Death, Steve Williams, who I was living with when I met Deborah. I was living with Doc, and then of course Piper. All three of them are gone, man.
Man, it's what a fun show to watch, and just yeah, again, watching that bond that got created between the two of you, and you and Piper beyond the show would continue to hang out and spend time with each other's families, right?
Oh yeah, families. My wife, Kitty and Deborah became friends. Ariel, his daughter, now working. I just saw her this past show down in St. Augustine.